Yo, what's up with y'all? It's your boy TV Gang, TV Digital in the building. Whoa, yo, that's a big spider, bro. What the So today we're gonna be going over drum bounce, more like Wheezy making beats for like Young Thug, Lil Key, Gunna, you know, the whole YSL slime crew, you know what I'm saying? So basically this is how it works. If you don't know, for some odd reason, I have a VIP membership. So basically for $10 a month, I teach producers, you know, how to make beats, you know what I'm saying, producer development. Basically I drop advanced tutorials on there, exclusive only. I do Zoom classes where you can come in, I share my screen and we actually cook up and shit like that. Drop exclusive kits, all type of shit. Make sure to hit the link in the description, go check it out. Basically today I had a Zoom class. It was like 8 of us in there. And I was basically going over the beats that I made on Twitch last night. And let's say for some odd reason you're not following or subscribed to the Twitch channel, hit the link in the description. Every day I go live on Twitch and I make 8 beats. I usually use loops from either my Patreon members, people from the Discord, or just people I f with, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's get straight into this video. See you later. And make sure you tune into the Twitch Battle Friday. Team Hits versus Team Producer Grind. Tune in.
Let this be so crazy. TB just went digital.
Alright, so these two patterns are the same. The only difference between these two patterns is just the 808s. So basically when you're doing Gunna shit, you most likely going to use like a clap or a rim. Now what I did for the hi-hat, is on every 2 steps, so it sounds like this. When you making a trap beat, just think triplets, okay? So when you're making a trap beat, either think 1/6 beat, 1/3 step, or 1/3 beat when you want those trap hi-hats. So if you see here, every time I did a hi-hat roll, it was going into the next bar. Another good thing on how to do your hi-hat rolls is probably do it every time the clap snare or the 808 hit. I did put Looperator. Looperator is a plugin by Sugar Bytes. The only thing I use the hi-hats for on here is for this loop feature, and basically they have like reverse presets that you can use, and I mainly use this one or this one. So next I have a snare. Now here's the thing about snare roll, like you don't want to do snare rolls every 4 bars, you know what I'm saying? The generic pattern that most people have is, which is cool, you know what I'm saying, but I want to leave a lot of space out on this beat so the artist could really flow on it. Then I added like a little roll. Next thing that I have is another snare, and this snare is actually feeling like the generic bounce that every snare has in a beat. So and that's just to give it more bounce. Next what I have is a rim. Now I really use this rim as a perk only because of how it sounds. So basically all I use that perk was for is just to fill in the silence. So the first 808 I use is a Z808. This comes from the Easy Baby, but whoever kit this is, this hard. But I got this simple Z808, and I think all I did to it, did I do anything to it? I boosted it up. So a lot of people be like, how you make your 808s hit? Bro, I don't focus on no compression, no sound goodizer, none of that shit. Because at the end of the day, bro, you gotta think of it. Yeah, you want your beats to sound good, but you ain't gotta go too crazy mixing them. As long as the 808s ain't clashing or don't sound too low, rappers don't really care about all that shit. I'm not saying this is to downgrade mixing, but I'm just saying you don't have to have 30,000 mix buses. So all I do for this 808 is I put this on the legacy effect, and I just play with the boost now. I feel like the hardest beats that rappers could flow on with 808s is when they have a lot of space between them. So I ain't go too crazy with the 808, so this is what it sounds like. It's very, very simple. When I did this, I put it in 1/6 beat. Alright, so for the second pattern, it's literally the same thing. To make it non-repetitive, I just threw a spinz 808 in here. Now all I did for the spinz 808 is I turned this out knob up, because what the out knob does is it's like your release, how long you want that 808 or that audio sample to play. So I turned the out knob up just so the 808 could be kind of short, and then I just turned the boost knob up. Now how I did this 808 roll is I got this on 1/6 beat, and I just put it on every bar or every line right here, and then I play with this velocity, because if I had a velocity turned all the way up, it would sound like this, which that's cool, but I wanted to give it more of a bounce. So
TB just went digital. Let this be so crazy.
So one thing that I did is I put a long roll here, and what I was telling you in the beginning of the video is, if you just starting out and you just want to find where rolls are good at, rolls are good on when the clap or the snare hit or when the kick hit. Now what I did here was, instead of putting the hi-hat right here, I left it blank. And the reason for that is really with the 808, because you got this silence right here. It's like your brain, stops for a second, then the 808 comes back and hit. It just makes it harder. So next what I have is a spinz 808. Alright, so one thing I do know when I do my rolls is I play with the velocity. I'm gonna turn the velocity up, and I'm gonna show y'all how different this sounds. Like that shit cool, but it won't, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm just to add more shit, let me add some more. Turn the velocity. Like just playing with your velocities can give a different style to anything that you do, but really your 808s and your hi-hats. And then the next snare that I added was a higher snare, and I did this for my roll. Now the reason why I added a roll right here, just to make it sound different. So this would sound like. Now how I did it is, you gotta think triplets, cause we in trap. So I put my snap to grid on 1/6 beat, and you remember how I say how I usually do just 2 instead of 3, cause this is what it would sound like if it was 3. Which I mean that's cool, but people used to use that in like 2012 Lex Luger days. So I just took this one out, and this is how Wheezy would do his shit sometimes.
My bad, bro. I just got one question, man. When you trying to experiment, you just gotta be careful with like not overdoing it, then, right? For the drum bounce.
Yeah. So what a lot of people
certain
do
things
is
do sound kind of.
Alright, so it's 2 things that people do. A lot of people want to experiment, and you end up using weird sound and make the shit sound weird. And then a lot of people experiment, end up doing too much, where it's like, you know what I'm saying? You want to experiment, but at the same time, experiment and keep that same sound selection that makes that type of beat, or that same foundation, you know what I'm saying?
Let this be so crazy.
Oh my god, Alex.
So next what I added was an open hat, but basically I just put an open hat in here to fill in the empty space, you know what I'm saying? Not going too crazy. Now one thing I like doing with my open hats is, for some reason when I put my open hats where my 808s hit, they just sound hard. So my 808's gonna hit right here, and here. So it's gonna sound like, I don't know, I started doing that a lot with my Pyrex beats, and they just sound harder. Basically, there's plenty of ways to do your reverse 808s. I just take a Z 808. Now this is where I do make my box, and I do cut it, only because what you don't want to happen is when you do your reverse 808, if you don't make your box, when wherever you end your 808 at, it's gonna keep playing, and because my actual spinz 808 starts right here, it's gonna clash together. So I make that box to cut itself. So when this is done playing, the 808 shuts off. It's just silence from that Z 808. So I make the box, I cut it, and then I hit reverse.
Hey, when you mixing your when you mixing everything down, like, do you take everything down to 0 and then bring it back up, a negative dB?
Have you ever seen me do that on the Twitch live stream before, bro?
I'm talking about like on the personal. Like, I know Twitch you be like moving fast. You know what I'm saying?
Hell nah. I level right here. I'm not saying that's not how to do it. Bush, for example,
That's just a different way.
he does his shit like that, and he got cleaner mixes. But it's just like at the end of the